Okay, guys, good morning. Oh, let's get started. So if you're watching this recording, what you just missed was me telling the students that you are going to need a spot somewhere for rest today that where you can put your feet up a wall. I don't have to see you do that. I will be moving my mat over here so that you guys can see me, but you don't have to be seen. So you might look around here while we're getting warm and figure out where you want to do that. I promise it'll be one of the best rests you ever had. It's one of my favorite things to do. I've even done it at airports. You get a little weird looks, but that's all right. All right, it's an airport. Go ahead and find yourself at the end of your mat and begin to roll your shoulders. Good. Just start thinking about your breath moving all the way down into your belly. If you can, inhale through your nose and out of your nose. Try to do that. Think about putting a big hole in the back of your throat. So you should be able to hear your breath as you breathe. Like you're holding a big mint or an egg in the back of your throat. Good. Take those shoulders, roll them down, leave them there. Take a big breath up. Good. Exhale, let it down. Good. And another breath up. Now, if you're not breathing through your nose and you just want to, just naturally breathe through your mouth, you've got allergies or whatever, just make sure that your breath stays relaxed. So we want to have this open mouth, very relaxed jaw. Clenching our jaw is really a common thing that we're just unconscious that we do, but it tenses everything else up. Bend your knees, soft fold. Good. Let your spine be round. Good. Bring your hands to your shins. Good. Now straighten your legs and then straighten your back. Push your shoulder blades down towards your hips. So we're in a spinal extension here. Just try to be aware of your spine. Feel yourself creating space between each vertebra here. Now, just like we did Monday, if your stretch reflex is here and you're like, yeah, I don't want to go any further, don't go any further. But if you want to see if you can just go down a tiny bit more, you can do that. And then a little bit more. Good. Now slide those legs up your legs. Slide your hands up your legs to above your knees. And now we take the back the other direction. So you want to lift your tailbone and lift your head, almost like you're smiling with your spine. Good. Now curl that. I don't like to say that we're frowning with our spine, even though it's the opposite. So making a nice arc here. There's no frowning in yoga. Good. Bend your knees. Get yourself to a neutral spine and unhinge. Good. Take a breath up. Good. This time, keep the back straight. So we're hinging from the hips over and then into your fold. Inhale, standing extension. That can be right where the first one was. And then exhale and fold. Good. Now just soften your knees a little bit, just enough where you can start bending one knee and then bending the other knee. So it's easy to think about the knees here. What I want you to focus on is there's a little tilting back and forth of your pelvis, of your hips here, like this. So try to focus on this happening in your pelvis, okay, in the back of your hips. So it doesn't matter if you can't reach the floor. So try to slow down and just take a second to just kind of rotate into one hip. And then take your time switching. You should feel that way deep down, almost next to your tailbone. Good. Let that level off before you move. Good. Hands are to the floor. Bend your knees if they're not there. Walk back to downward dog. Good. Find a shoulder roll here. Good. Let that lengthen out the spine. Spread your fingers out. You're pushing not just the palm of your hand into the floor, but also your fingertips. And then take a second to really drive your heels to the bottom of your mat. Now, it's okay if your heels don't touch, but you want to pull them down like they're going to. Good. Bring yourself forward into a plank. So find your neutral spine here. We've talked about, your spine it's like a bucket that's on its side, but let's imagine that it's straight up. If I tilt the bucket forward, then the water spills out the front. Look what my spine does. I don't want that. And if I tilt it too far under, then I'm going to look like this, right? So I want it to be right in the middle. Chaturanga to up dog. So now your spine, you should feel like if your spine was a bucket or your hips were a bucket, the water would be falling out the front, right? Good. Push back. Spread out the knees. Toes together. Ease it back into this child's pose. And we're going to move with this. So try to keep your feet together and just let yourself slide forward and then drop back into your hips. You're not going to be able to go as low as you did for your up dog. Slide back again. And then forward. So really try to squeeze the heels into your glutes right there. And then come back again. You should feel that in the front of your thighs. And one more time, back or up rather. And then back. Well done. Come to tabletop. Good. Roll those shoulders. Find that neutral spine. Take a deep breath and lift your left arm up to the ceiling. And then exhale. Drive that left arm all the way through. Left shoulder to the floor. And take your right hand, extend it out. Take a deep breath, put it way into your lower back here, breathe. Bring your tabletop back. Good, make sure you're not sinking into that shoulder girdle. Take another breath, lift the right arm up. And then reach through. Right shoulder to the floor and extend your left arm. And bring yourself back up. Tuck your feet. Good, and we're going to go to downward dog. Look forward and step forward with your left leg. And we're going to revolve our lunge here. Good, now take a deep breath. We're just going to swing that forward and come up into high lunge. Hands to the floor. Step back to downward dog again. And then we'll step forward with our right leg. Set your lunge, shoulders out of your ears, and revolve. strong leg in the back here. Inhale, sweep it forward and come up to high lunge. And hands to the floor. Step in and find your standing extension. Take a deep breath and fold. Good, bend your knees, lift your gaze, and unhinge. Find your shoulder roll. Good, take your left hand, bring it behind your back, so it's just right behind me. I'm gonna take my right hand up across my head. Now before I pull my head over, I'm gonna drop this shoulder. And then I just, really I'm not pulling, I'm just kind of letting my arm weight my head down. Good, now we tend to start shrugging the shoulder of the head that we're leaning, the side. So this shoulder, I wanna make sure I'm not shrugging that shoulder up to my ear. So think about drawing both shoulder blades back and down. Good, release your head first. Then you're gonna switch your arms. Good. My hand goes up, but I gotta drop both shoulders down first. Then just let the weight of your arm pull your head over. So we're not really forcing anything here. Good, release your head first. Good, big breath. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, standing extension. And then exhale, fold a little further. Take a step back with your right foot. Turn your right foot. Come up to warrior two. Good, try to get that push in with your right hip here. Shoulders are right over the hips. Draw the shoulders back and down. Good, stay here. And we're gonna go up into a sun warrior. Now, if you feel like you can take this lower, make sure that your front knee doesn't go past your front toe. So if you need to, walk your foot away a little bit. Straighten your legs. We're in a reverse triangle here. And then as you hinge over, kick that right hip away. And then find your hinge to your triangle. Push your weight into your legs. So really, the more you push down through the legs, the more you're going to be able to lengthen your spine. Good, soften your knee and come up. Turn down the right side of your mat. I'm going to turn around just so you can see me, the better side. All right. So we're centered now. Take a breath. Good, you're gonna just sink into the center. Now I want you to keep your head as high as you can. Just start sinking. So goddess pose. And then I want you to draw your hands to the inside of your legs. Good, now that's as far as some of you are gonna go. Some of you might be able to get your elbows here. But notice my head is higher than my hips. Hello. Good. Lift your hips and drop your hands to the floor. Good. Now you should have your left leg toward the top of your mat. So I want you to stay where you're at, but lean into your left leg. Yep, so it's just my left. There you go. Now put your shoulder into the inside of your left leg. If you can put your hands on the floor. If you need to go a little less, just put your elbow up on your leg. Good. Take a breath, and you're going to rotate up to your right. Good. Straighten your leg, reset back to the center. Good. Now go back to your left. Now see if you can put your right hand. So that's the one that was just reaching for the ceiling. You're going to put it close to your left foot, or maybe even down onto the elbow. Take a breath. Feel this rotation. You can leave your left hand on your left knee, or see if you can rotate the left hand up to the ceiling. Big inner thigh stretch here. Lots of leg activity. Take a breath and come back to the center. Walk to the top of your mat and step back to downward dog. Good job. So we're going to do a little core strengthener here. It's all moves that you know. Come down to tabletop. So just literally drop the knees forward. Take a breath. And then draw your left leg and your right arm. Bring it back down. I want you to move like you're in slow motion. And now push back up to downward dog. Bring it all the way back down. And now the right leg and the left arm. Bring it back down and back up. So this should take about the length of a breath. So I inhale, 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 then I draw out. Exhale, 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 exhale. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Yes, and up. Down. And extend right leg, left arm. Good. Draw the rib cage in together. It's not just your belly. Downward dog. And down. Left leg, right arm. Think about keeping the shoulders out of the ears here. And down. Downward dog. And then down. And then left arm, right leg. Good. One more time back to downward dog. Excellent job. And then your plank. Take a big breath. Chaturanga to up dog. Good. You earned it. Child's pose. Good. Come up to your shins. Step forward with your left leg. Good. Now bring your hands behind you. You can clasp your hands. You can crisscross your hands. Or you can reverse prayer your hands. There's no right and wrong. And when we do the other side, if you want to try something different, it just invokes different feelings in your shoulders. So do the one that you feel like you want to do right now. They're not really necessarily more advanced. It's just choices. Good, nice shoulder stretch there. Good, release your hands first. Big breath up. All right, little balance challenge. Take your hands, right elbow to left leg. So we're just in a kneeling lunge, kneeling revolve lunge with prayer hands. All right, so tuck your back foot and see if you can lift right into your kneeling lunge. Hand goes to the floor if it needs to, that's okay. Good. Now, don't move. Listen to me first. You cannot move when I tell you to. You have to go when you're ready. Push your weight into your left leg, and you're going to kick up through that back leg, and you're going to be right into revolved chair. Good luck. Go when you're ready, not when I tell you to. Very good. Now just turn. Inhale, standing extension. Ah. Exhale and fold. Hopefully you feel like you're folding a little further now. Good. And when you're ready, left leg, take it back behind you. Turn, and up we go into our warrior two. So you guys know we always do one side then the other, but I want you to always remember they are separate sides. So you've already done warrior two, but you've not done warrior two over here. This side might be totally different. You might have a hip issue and you can't go as low, or a knee issue and you can't go as low, or maybe now you can go further. So don't feel like you have to do what you did on the other side. And that's really evident when we do flexibility stuff, but we got to remember that even during strengthening stuff. Those of us who do martial arts, we are well aware of which side is better, right? Yoga is technically a martial art too, descends from that. Good thing to talk about while we're in warrior pose. Up you go to sun warrior. If you need to sink a little deeper, think about this. You may not need to move your foot forward, but if you do, go ahead and do that so you can sink in. Ultimately, I want this hamstring parallel to the mat beneath me. That may not be today. Push through those legs. Think about keeping your jaw relaxed. Go ahead and straighten up into that reverse triangle. And now I'm kicking that left hip away as I hinge into my triangle. Push into your legs. It's easy to put the weight into the front leg. Yep, it's also okay if you need to step in a little bit. That's okay too. Really push through the legs and feel your spine lengthening. It's like someone's pulling my hips towards the back of the mat, pulling my head toward the top of my mat. See if you can roll your shoulders here. Good, and just soften those knee joints, unhinge, turn down the left side of your mat. Take a nice big breath. Good, begin to sink the legs through goddess pose. You're gonna put your hands on the inside or the elbows on the inside. Nice opening of the back here. Pull your shoulders down. Good, lengthen and strengthen here. Hips go high, exhale, wide-legged fold. Good, so now your right leg should be toward the top of your mat. So take a breath and exhale towards that right leg. and put your right arm into the inside of that leg. And again, if you need to come up here, that's okay too. Take a breath and exhale up to your left. Slide back to the center. Just relax into your fold. And then one more time. Slide over to your right. And this time, you're reaching for your right foot with your left hand. Now, that may mean you just set your hand on the floor. If you can drop in to the elbow and get those hips low, you can. Make sure you're bending that right knee. And then exhale up to your right. Control your breath. And slide back to the center. Woo! You should feel your legs. Walk yourself back to the top of your mat. Step back to downward dog. Good. We're going to go back to that table extension. Bring yourself down slowly. Control with your core. And let's go right leg, left arm first. Put it back down. Lift. Come back down. Left leg, right arm. And down. Downward dog. Down to table. Right leg, left arm. Down. Lift. Left leg, right arm. And downward dog. One more time each side. Right leg, left arm. And downward dog. And then left leg, right arm. And down. One more downward dog. And come to your plank. Find that neutral spine. Chaturanga to up dog. And sit back, child's pose. Good, roll yourself up to your shins. And go ahead and step forward with your right leg. Sinking into that kneeling lunge. And here we go with the hands. Bring them behind you. Again, you can do exactly what you did last time, or try one of the other ones just to see if you get a different sensation there in your shoulders. Try to relax into the hips. And take a breath up. Left elbow goes to the right leg, and you're in your kneeling revolve lunge with prayer hands. Tuck your back foot. Get your balance. Try to lift right up into that lunge, that revolve lunge with prayer hands. We're moving into that chair pose. Think about it before you move. Put all of your weight into your right leg and try to step right up together into revolve chair. And then take a big breath. Revolve out of that into standing extension. Exhale and fold. Good, bend your knees. Take a breath and unhinge. Good job. Did you guys feel that in your legs? All right, here we go. Take a breath. I want you to reach down with your left hand and grab your right foot. So you're crossing behind you. Good. Left hand's grabbing right foot. Now I'm just going to start to hinge. This takes a lot of hamstring stretch or strength. And then I'm going to see if I can fold and grab the floor. Now, if you need to put your foot down and fold and then grab your foot, you can do that. Once you're here, try to push that knee to the ceiling. Good. Now I'm going to keep my right hand on the floor. I'm just going to step. We're going to candlesticks. I'm going to take my right foot way over and across and off my mat. Yes. So if I face you, I'm really crossing my inner thigh. So I'm not just stepping backward, really crossed. So then I'm going to turn with my core and I got to squeeze my legs together and then sink. So it's like I'm going to put my right knee on the floor underneath me. I got to push this knee toward the big toe on this side. Yes. So you should feel like you're stretching here, but you're strengthening everywhere else. Up with the right hand and lean to your left. Good. Now, if you got your good balance and you want to add to it, try to look at this hand. Woo. Good. Just push back to mountain pose. Very good. Come into prayer. And inhale up. Now my right hand's going to grab my left. We're just going to go ahead and do both sides. Good. And then I start this hinge. So I'm trying to keep my hand in the same line as my knee. See that? Ooh. And then fold. Lift that knee to the ceiling. Push down through your right leg. And here we go. Reach way across with your left foot. Ball of the foot is on the floor. Yep. Squeeze. Turn your core to the top of your mat. Good. Let everything squeeze, 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 squeeze. Core is in tight. Left arm up. Lean right. And if it feels okay, see if you can add the gaze up to your hand. And lift. Okay. I can't do any more legs today. Inhale. Hinge and fold. Good job. Walk back to downward dog. Good. We're going to start with the right leg. Lift your right leg into three-leg dog. Push that left heel down. Now take your right leg all the way through and underneath you and push your foot out to 9 o'clock. Now I'm going to take my left foot and let it lay to the side. And then I'm opening up. This is broken triangle. If you need to modify, just put your knee down. Good, go back to three-leg dog. Good. Now my right leg is going to come through again. Just listen if you've never done this. I'm going to go back to 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock, but this time I'm not turning, and I'm going to push back into my hips, but I'm squeezing my inner thighs just like I did in my candlestick. So this is twisted down dog. You should feel like your right hip is lower than your left hip right now. I want you to think about trying to lift that right hip. Good. Spread out your fingers to give you a good base. Good. Reset your 3-leg dog. And then bring everything forward, tuck your right foot under you. And I actually want you to come to this 90-90 stretch. So your back leg is bent a little bit, you're on your right hip, and just relax over this front leg. So you're releasing all those muscles that we're just holding for you. So we did twisted downward dog. Now we're going to do twisted child's pose. So all I'm going to do is take my left leg, that's the one that's behind, and bring it up behind my right leg. My right leg didn't move. I'm squeezing up high again. Remember, it's never just putting your knees behind each other. And then I'm going to push back into my hips. So this is not cow face where I'm trying to sit on my hips. I want to really push back into my hips and relax my spine over my legs. I don't know about you guys, but this is one of those poses that makes me go, ah. Good, and come out of that and just reset your tabletop. And we're gonna sink back into a narrow child's pose here. So as far as it's comfortable, your knees are together. If you can get your head to the floor, great. If you can't, make some fists with your hands and rest your head in your hands. If you can get your head to the floor, see if you can just rest your arms behind you. Very nice. And reset your tabletop. Get your base. Tuck your feet. Inhale, downward dog. Press that right heel down. Lift your left foot into 3-leg dog. Now, my left foot is going to go through my midline underneath me to 3 o'clock. The blade of my foot is on the floor. Turn your foot to the side and open up to your broken triangle. Again, if you need to, drop the knee. Good. Go back to your 3-leg dog, left leg up. Now we cross again, but this time I don't open up and my back foot doesn't turn. I'm just going to push my hips to the ceiling, squeezing my inner thighs. Good, and now you should feel like your left hip is lower. Focus on trying to push that left hip up. If you feel like you're too stretched out, walk your hands back a little bit. Good, and then up we go again. Take a breath. We're going to go to the 90-90 stretch. So everything lays down, bend your back knee, lift your core, and just relax over the front leg. Now for our twisted child's pose, just push yourself up like you're going to go to tabletop and tuck your right leg behind your left. And then I just begin to push back into my hips. Good, come out of that. And now instead of a narrow child's pose, put your knees out as wide as you can get them. Go ahead and sit your hips back. Good, and then keep them there as you ease yourself to the floor. Good, now from here, you can be on your elbows, you can come up to your hands, but I want you to leave your hips right where they are. Flex your feet. Good, now look back. You shouldn't be able to see your feet right now. Now I want you to push your feet out until you not only can you see your feet, but your heels. Yeah, the bottom of your feet. Push them way out. You should have felt this forward push in your hips. I want you to push against that. That doesn't mean try to push your hips back like child's pose. Just push your hips so that they're even with your knees. So in this same plane. Good, just let your hips come forward, put your heels together. Whew. Come out of that. If you want a cartwheel, you go right ahead. All right, have a seat. Let your legs out straight. And then just walk your hips towards the back of your mat. Give your legs a little shake there if you want to. Good, take a breath. Find the bottom of your rib cage. So that is what should move forward first as we begin a forward fold, not my head. I want my head to go forward. I want my rib cage to go forward. So it's kind of like when you're, you know, if you've ever attached like a Velcro strip to something, you know, you start on one end and then you go to the other end, right? Little bit by little bit. It's kind of like that. The end of the Velcro is that rib cage. Your head would be the last part. Because, you know, if you do the head first, then you have this weird little hump in your Velcro strip. Good, let that walk up. Take your feet wide. So we're gonna do a little replay of the standing stuff that we just did with our legs wide. It's gonna look very different, but you'll see what I'm saying. All right, so start out by just folding in the middle. Bring yourself up. Good, now I want you to bend your left leg, knee up. See, my knee is up. And I'm just gonna reach for my foot. Yeah, I've actually flexed my foot. If you don't wanna flex your foot, you can reach for your ankle too. Good. Now, see how I'm hunched over right now? We don't wanna do this. So I wanna get tall first. And then I'm actually gonna rotate to my right. Now, if you wanna put your hand on the floor behind you to increase that rotation, you can, but don't over rotate. Now, I need you to think about your left leg. That's the one that's up. See if you can push against your leg with your arms. So I'm kind of dropping my knee toward the back. Good. And just slowly come back around. Extend your leg. Good. We'll drop back to the center again. Maybe you can go a little further this time. Good. Sit up. And now we're going to bend that right knee. Grab your right foot. Sit up tall. Again, we're all built differently. Some people have really long legs and short arms. So, you know, this might be better for you, and that's fine. It's really this push that you're wanting. Getting your foot is just because it's there. It's not that important. Sit up tall and reach to your left. And then again, if you want to reach to the floor, you can. Good. That just helps me sit up taller. And now I'm going to push my hip very gently toward the back. Good. Come back around. Grab hold of those legs. Bring your feet in. Good. And I just want you to use this as a shakeout. So you can fly with it if you want to. Good. Roll yourself back. All right. Lift your left leg. Take your right hip, or your right foot in front of your left leg. Now, bend that left leg to 90 degrees and push in. So imagine if somebody were holding your left foot right now and pushing your left leg towards your face. Yeah, so you shouldn't have to use your arms to have this hip stretch. The arms just kind of give you a little extra. Good, release that and put your feet and your knees together. Good, now we're gonna open to our right, but we're gonna roll. So everything, your whole body is gonna roll to your left. So your right hip should be on top. Then take a deep breath and with your upper body, open to your right. Good, bring your knees toward your heart to bring yourself back. Good, so we soften that. And now we're gonna take our left leg across the right. Drop your foot to 90 degrees, and that is your lever. So I'm doing this with my right leg. Pull that in to release the left hip. Breathe deep in your belly here. Now stack your knees over your hips. Hands come up. We're rolling everything to the right. Just let yourself fall. Don't hit a lamp. Take a breath. Exhale, just melt open to your left with your upper body. Big, deep spine decompression here. Good, and roll yourself to the center. And now I'm actually going to give you a second to head over to that wall. May need to move a mat, that's fine. Good, so once you get to the wall, and again, as long as you can hear me, it's fine. Once you get to the wall, you got to kind of booty scoot and get your bottom as close to the wall as you can. So you might even need to lay on your back and kind of walk with your elbows and your shoulders. Get yourself as close to the wall as you can. And then put your feet on the wall. Good. And this is where we're going to rest today. So feet up the wall is one of my favorite positions. It's very restful, but it lowers your blood pressure, completely decompresses your spine, increases the blood flow to your brain. That's probably what I need the most. So where to put your hands? You know what, guys? They can go anywhere you want. You can put them out to the side. You can put your hands on your belly. If you need to really focus on your breath, if that tends to be your challenge, do that. And then just feel your belly rising and falling in your fingers. Allow your jaw to soften. Take a second to wiggle around if you need to. Feel the back of your neck melting toward the floor. As you inhale, notice that space between your shoulder blades spreading out on the floor. And then over the next few breaths, journey down your spine, deep breaths, and see if you can make your exhale match your inhale. Feel your hips release. Allow your knees to go soft. Relax your heels. Your feet might turn out a little bit. That's okay. Relax your arches of your feet. Good. And don't move yet. Just begin to feel your body back on the floor. Just become conscious of your breath if you drifted off. And we want to keep our bodies soft, but usually the first question is, well, how the heck do I do that with my feet up the wall to get out of this? So there's a couple ways, all right? You can just roll to your side and your legs will kind of be crunched up, but that's okay. If you know how to backward shoulder roll, you can do that. So then you're just going to walk your feet down the wall, look over the shoulder you want to go over, and just push yourself over. And then you can come up to seated. So take your time however you want to do that. If it doesn't turn out as graceful as you were thinking, that is okay. Good. Just take some deep breaths. Roll your shoulders. One more breath up. And bring the hands into center. And God bless you guys. Namaste. Well done. Happy Wednesday. Awesome job. Let me know if you have any questions, you guys. That was fantastic. Let me know what you thought about feet up the wall. It's one of my favorites.
I liked it.
It's a little different, but woo.
Thank you, Mrs. Glendon. Bye, Mrs. Scott.
Bye, guys.
Mrs.
I was
Scott.
pulling it up the door, and my cat, he was like putting his paw under the door and like scratching my butt. I'm like, what are you doing?
Have a great day, guys. Bye, Johnny.
Bye.
See you,
Up the
Belinda.
wall. Up the wall is good.
Doesn't that feel good?
Yeah.
I was thinking about my back is like, I mean, it's fine, but it's just really sore because I've been going heavy in weights and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I need some legs up the wall. And I came down here and I'm like, all right.
Where am I going to do it?
Yeah, I was like, there's got to be a couple spots here where my feet will fit. So.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you made me sweat today, so that's good.
Oh, good. All right. Well, you have a good one.
All right. We'll see you.
All right. Bye-bye.